As an experienced hiker, I have spent countless hours trekking through forests, mountains, and trails. I enjoy the thrill of discovery and the serenity that solitude brings. However, one particular hiking trip to the dense local woods transformed my adventurous pastime into an unsettling nightmare. I stumbled upon a narrow, unmarked trail, barely noticeable amongst the wilderness. Intrigued, I ventured down this forgotten path, eager to uncover the secrets it might hold. The farther I progressed, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. The usual chirping of birds gave way to a strange silence, occasionally broken by indistinct whispers carried by the wind. Telling myself it was just my imagination playing tricks, I carried on until I found an old, weathered backpack hanging ominously from a tree. It looked as if it had been there for years. Inside, I found a few personal items and a faded driver's license. A chill ran down my spine as I recognized the name and photo. It belonged to a man from our town who had gone missing without a trace a few years ago. I was gripped by a sudden dread as the eerie whispers grew louder. I felt eyes on me, observing from the undergrowth. I hastily tried to retrace my steps, but the path seemed to twist and change, unrecognizable from before. It took hours of frantic searching to find my way back. The authorities couldn't locate the trail or the backpack, but the memory of that day haunts me still. Abandoned buildings have always fascinated me. They stand as silent witnesses to history, each with its own story to tell. But the old asylum, with its broken windows and crumbling walls, is a place I wish I had never set foot in. The locals often shared spine-chilling ghost stories about the asylum, but I dismissed them as folklore. That changed one fateful evening. Armed with my camera and a thrill-seeking spirit, I stepped into the decaying structure. It was eerie yet exciting. As I ventured deeper, I heard unsettling noises, distant footsteps echoing through the desolate corridors, soft whispers in the cold air, and creaking doors that seemed to shut on their own. Despite the growing unease, I pressed on until I came upon the old electroshock therapy room. Amidst the decaying medical equipment, I found a file. It contained the details of a patient, a young woman, subjected to numerous electroshock sessions. Her photograph, attached to the worn-out papers, was haunting. As I looked up, I saw her reflection standing next to mine in the fragmented mirror across the room. Terror gripped me, and I fled from the asylum. The image of her sad eyes still haunts me. I've given up my exploration of abandoned places since then. In my role as a property manager for multiple apartment buildings, I've dealt with all sorts of tenants. Mrs. Jacobs was a quiet, elderly woman living alone. She always paid her rent on time, and we rarely exchanged more than polite greetings. One day her rent payment stopped, and she didn't respond to my calls or letters. Concerned, I decided to check on her. What I found was a chilling snapshot of life abruptly abandoned. Her favorite television show was playing on repeat, a meal was half-eaten on the table, and an open book was lying next to her reading glasses. Mrs. Jacobs, however, was nowhere to be found. Despite several visits by the police, they found no evidence of foul play or a struggle. It was as if she had vanished into thin air. A week later, the reports started coming in from other tenants. They spoke of hearing sobs echoing through the building at night, whispers barely audible through the walls, and the chilling sound of dragging footsteps emanating from Mrs. Jacobs' now vacant apartment. Despite repeated searches, Mrs. Jacobs remains missing. The echoes of her apparent presence continue to haunt the apartment complex. Her untouched apartment is a grim reminder of the mystery that continues to linger. As a devoted camper, the allure of nature's solitude always fascinated me. But one camping expedition drastically altered this perspective. Together with some friends, we decided to venture deep into the local woods, a region less trodden by the usual outdoor enthusiasts. Mid-search for an ideal camping spot, we stumbled upon an eerie sight. An old abandoned campsite lay nestled within a thicket of trees, a decaying tent, and a long extinguished fire pit the only remnants of its previous inhabitants. A hushed silence seemed to shroud the area, a stark contrast to the forest's usual cacophony. Against our better judgment, we decided to camp there. As night fell, the surrounding woods came alive with sounds that sent chills down our spines. Indistinct whispers seemed to echo between trees, and the sound of something moving just beyond our vision kept us on edge. Daybreak offered a shocking discovery. Near the fire pit, half buried under leaves, we found a tattered journal. The entries belonged to a woman named Lucy, a solo camper who had mysteriously vanished some months prior. Her last entry was unnerving. "I hear whispers. Someone or something is watching me. I should have left." Stunned, we reported our findings to the authorities. Though they scoured the area, no significant clues were found. Now, when I think of camping, I can't shake off the image of that forlorn campsite, the haunting whispers, and Lucy's disturbing words forever etched in my memory. The woods, once a sanctuary, now embody an unsolved mystery and a chilling secret.